So the Mizkif versus Emiru lawsuit has been evolving, and Mizkif was crying on stream over people's response to Emiru's statement. Let's take a look at all this stuff. I personally don't feel bad for Mizkif at all, but what do you guys think? Let's look at this and tell me what you think after you like and subscribe. Let's get into it.
But it's been 4.5 months. I don't have a voice. Everyone took that voice from me. Everyone did. Everyone took that voice. I don't have a voice. This is not going any. No one cares.
Full demon time.
Massive day for the unemployed. There are revelations in the Mizkif versus Emiru lawsuit, and Mizkif was crying.
And although she defines it as sexual assault, a reasonable viewer would unquestionably understand that the term is her own description of what happened to her. The viewer is not left to guess as to nature of the assault based.
Let's just read this whole thing, right? So she's describing exactly what happened to her, and although she defines it as SA, a reasonable viewer would unquestionably understand that the term is her own description of what happened to her. So this is a semantic argument. If you're hearing what she's saying, and then the categorization of what she's saying is SA, you still hear what she's saying, so that's, in my opinion, something you're only harping on in order to try to strawman her argument, right? So you're hearing what she's saying, and you're not taking an issue with what she's saying, but rather how she's categorizing it, because you want to like play the victim here. And I don't feel bad for him like at all, right? Like obviously Emiru doesn't have a fucking dictionary in front of her as she's recounting what happened, and she's not cross-referencing this dictionary to make sure what she's saying took place to her is exactly the direct terms that fall in line with this term of SA.
Solely on the term sexual. Yes. This is what she wrote.
No shit.
This is the fucking person.
This guy is delusional.
Sexually went live with 60,000 viewers and told everyone I sexually assaulted her, made everyone stop talking to me for fucking a year. This is the person that did all this stuff, chat.
She didn't backtrack. She even provided a full transcript of the story from her stream and did not retract a single part of it. There are at least 10 factual assertions in it, and Mizkif has not pleaded falsity as to a.
Yeah, exactly. So that's the issue, right? He has not pled falsity to these actual assertions, but rather the labeling used to act as an umbrella for these things.
Single one of them in his complaint. He appears to only want to argue about the.
It's literally just like, the label sounds bad. Well, if you look at the reasoning for why the label fucking exists, then maybe we should start there.
The label. Well, to be fair, SA is a pretty serious allegation, even for tech.
She literally says it was her emotional definition, not the definition of sexual assault.
This is also the most crocodile tear bullshit I've ever seen, and it's hilarious to know after he's done fake crying, he has steak.com ready to go on the taskbar. I'm so sad. I'm so sad. Anyway, guys, I'm done being sad. Please go gamble your life savings away on my code so I can make more money. Oh, you're sad because you lost all your money? I'm sad because of a label used for things that I did.
I have to live with this shit. It's just like, what the did I do? It just sucks, chat. It just sucks. It kills me.
I'm not gonna say he's guilty of any crime, but he is guilty of being a cornball because, bro, what happened to Demon Time? Now, let us all channel our inner IDubbbz empathy and keep watching.
But it's been 4.5 months. I don't have a voice. Everyone took that voice from me. Everyone did. Everyone took that voice. I don't have a voice.
You're talking right now. Like, plead your case. Again, he's saying he doesn't have a voice, but the reality of the situation is that if he did a better job pleading his case and refuted the evidence better, there wouldn't be videos made against him like this that have 334,000 views. As he's saying he doesn't have a voice, that's his statement that's being used against him.
This is not going any. No one cares.
True, and yeah, that's pretty true. That's true, and yeah, that's true. That's true.
Here, with the context of the entire 90-minute live stream, it is clear that Shunk was telling her own emotional truth, explaining how the relationship came to an end and the struggles Shunk endured during the relationship. Anyway, this is a serious legal document, and who better to cover this than the debunker?
Stating her emotional truth, not some statement of decisive.
that looks like.
All right, pause. Before we go any further, I got something to show y'all. Speaking of lawsuits, if you have used DoorDash, now let's get back into our video. Life's a sandwich. No matter the way you flip it, the bread comes first. And if you've watched my coverage on Mizkif in the past, you'll also know that I never believed he actually committed a crime. I'm not going to accuse him of any crimes, obviously, but he is definitely guilty of being a cornball.
Mizkif, people brigade it. Can I be honest with you? It's bought and brigade all the time, man. When it's about like debunking the Mizkif shit, it gets removed and whatever.
Stop the dude, yeah.
That's a pretty messed up thing to do, man. Ruining his reputation and self-confidence for a petty point. The law needs to protect men from false accusations too. Miz is not the victim in this situation, no matter how hard you try to spin it. Mizkif is a sociopathic jackoff and an abuser. Yeah, he mistreated Emiru. It's pretty obvious. No one feels sorry for him. Okay, Twitter is a bit crazy. They're talking with utmost conviction. Like,
this is the thing, is that people are so attached to these labels, so that way whenever you may or may not use them or may not defend them, they're putting you in certain camps, okay? This is why generally you should look at the facts of the situation rather than the labels assigned to the fact, because that ends up putting you in camps that either get dismissed or validated. And I'm not trying to act like some enlightened centrist here, but I think Mizkif was objectively a shitty partner. Now, whether you think Emiru misused certain words to define Mizkif's behavior, we can have that conversation. But at the end of the day, clinging on to certain words, I think is just muddying the waters. Like, this is just all semantics. So at the end of the day, you know, you should look at these things objectively with what we have and make a conclusion from those things, not from like the labels, from the actual actions, from the recorded evidence.
like, obviously we weren't there, thank God. Did Emiru lie about allegations against Mizkif? New court document sparks shock as streamer breaks down on live stream.
Sparks shock? Is Hassan involved?
My life. Did Emiru really backtrack? According to fans and legal observers, no, she didn't backtrack. While she clarified the label as her emotional definition, she is not backing away from the underlying incident itself. Another added, are you illiterate? She didn't backtrack shit. He grabbed her genitals without consent when they weren't dating.
After the sexual assault that Emiru claims that happened, we dated afterwards for a few months, and we had sex every single day.
That's why. But no, it's her.
And then I broke up with her. I feel like people don't know that fact. I'm the one that broke up with her, one, and two, we dated afterwards. Not so bad, but Emmy was also violent. She would throw clothes or plushies at me, and I punched holes in the walls, slammed the doors in aggression.
It's just so hard to take Mizkif seriously because his response to the initial drama was so terrible that he pretty much lost any good grace anyone was willing to give him. Reddit ain't buying it either. Man's getting worse at fake crying each time he does it. He is a serial liar and still bad at it. It's so obvious he belongs on Kick with acting this bad.
I will expose everything about every person that you've ever known. But it's been 4.5 months. I don't have a voice. Everyone took that voice from me. Everyone did.
This guy said demon time, demon wine.
Yeah.
Right, if he didn't do the whole demon time bit, I feel like the internet would be much more sympathetic towards his cause. He made himself the butt end of the joke.
Full demon time.
Mizkif.
It's sort of like turning this real situation that people have strong opinions on because it's such a serious topic into this streamer, like, your red versus blue team thing. I'm gonna go demon time. I'm locked in. I'm gonna be a try-hard sweat that gets the victory royale for my audience, and your audience is gonna be sad. You're making this whole thing a team sport, and it sort of removes some of the credibility that people, view your statements with. But regardless, like I said, this person, like Mizkif, when he complains about how people aren't giving him a voice, the irony of this whole thing is that there have been so many situations this guy's been involved in the past where he's been getting a voice, but the one time people seem to act against him is conveniently when he claims he doesn't have a voice. So whenever he's considered right in the public, he has a voice, but whenever he's considered wrong in the public, he doesn't have a voice. People aren't listening to him. Do you see how that makes no fucking sense at all? Do you see how that's like hypocritical and clearly like, oh, okay, so every time people agreed with you, you were validly listened to, but now people don't, and they think that you're, sort of playing the victim here overly and having these crocodile tears for sympathy. You're not being heard out. Like, that's sort of how, like, people view that as sort of shady, right?
Around calling Tectone a talking to him, making fun of him, now crying on.
Yeah, he also shouldn't be labeling Tectone that way when he'll get upset for people labeling him that way if he has an issue with the semantics. Like, that's crazy, you know what I'm saying? If you have an issue with the semantics, so because labels are so charged, then don't use charged labels toward others, like, ever, you know?
Stream like a little bitch because he's getting the same treatment Tectone did. Womp womp, no one listens to me. You literally did the same thing to Tectone. How about you shut the f up, you useless waste of space? As my Canadian viewers would say, Kanama is a bitch.
Man, f you, Mizkif. You straight up mega You might have cracked Emiru, but at least I crack my Genshin Impact baddies every night in my jail cell. That's right. I got conjugal visits, motherfucker.
We got the allegation Avengers. You
Conjugal visits, motherfucker.
We got the
This photo makes both of them need to go to jail immediately for crimes against humanity. They're both guilty.
allegation Avengers. You reap what you sow, Mizkif, and honestly, I don't feel pity for you, man. You sort of got what was coming to you. But I will say, Emiru should have went to the police first if the allegation is as serious as she claims it was, because going to the intranet is a bit suspicious, you know what I mean? Get a police report first, and then destroy the dude's career and call him out on the intranet, you know what I'm saying? Mizkif laughs about me almost 2 weeks ago, excited I lost everything. Mizkif calls me a over fiction and helps people to harass me. Mizkif now cries about being called a by content creators for months. People trying to say I should feel bad for him. Nah.
You know, well, she didn't really take anything back, she said. It's her emotional feelings on how it happened. So therefore, it's like, dude, what the f***? Like, you guys are willing to bury me to the f***ing ground on just absolutely nothing and try to make it seem like I'm some monster. And she's lying about...
The other thing is that he's clinging on so heavily to this, and it's become a big focal point of his current career trajectory. What I think a good thing for him would be to just ignore this. And that might sound controversial because we're all told, like, oh yeah, if you're accused of something, respond. He already made his response, and there's a lawsuit ongoing. So I feel like this is one of those things that you backburner until the lawsuit is all finished, right? Like, ultimately, you just say, okay, fine. She has her side, I have my side. Let's let the fucking state decide, and we'll go from there. And if the court ruling or whatever ends up happening is not in his favor, then he can rebuttal it, and if it is, then he can support it, whatever. I think that him going on and on about this on stream, it looks kind of desperate at this point. Like, Emiru isn't doing this. She's not, like, frantically sort of, arguing with what he's saying. Sort of like the whole do nothing win meme, you know? He's, like, very clearly desperate for anybody to agree with anything he says, and that's just not very compelling, even if you're a fan of his.
She's lying about these things. She's been lying about all this stuff, and you guys are just like, yep, well, we're just gonna keep listening. Sure, we don't know what this really means, though. What? We know what it means.
You know what the hilarious thing is? He could be the most innocent person in the world, and people would still not give a shit because they're just fed up with Mizkif. And his own audience is turning on him. He turned his YouTube channel into a slop channel. The dislike bars are crazy. People are genuinely tired of this dude. While I was editing this video, Legal Mindset chimed in. Let's check this out.
That Mizkif will focus on Emiru's use of the term SA, which I'm going to stop there and just say very clearly, if she had not used that term, we wouldn't even be here today. This wouldn't be an argument. There would be a full, strong case for that motion to dismiss. But using that terminology is really what got her in that position. So without a doubt, without use of those words, there would be no position for Mizkif to hang his hat on here.
Yeah, I mean, ultimately, like, so should she have used these phrases and terms? I would say probably not, because it doesn't add anything to what she's saying. If people want to draw a conclusion that he's guilty, they can do that off of what she says, not with these particular labels. And so it gives him something to cling on to as a defense, like, oh, look at what she said. Simultaneously, like, I'm not going to give her the right to say these things, but I will say, if you're in a situation like she was in, I think should give a little bit of grace and allow for there to be some slippage, some room for error, some room for misspeaking, you know, saying things that you may not fully agree with or believe because of the position you're in. That only goes so far. Like, if you say this person R-worded you and they didn't R-word you, then you're fucked, okay? It's not like they did some bad things to you, but you said they did that, and so therefore it's okay to say that they did that, they R-worded you. That's not okay at all. I'm saying particularly in this circumstance, I don't think her use of that word is what made people side with her, which matters a lot.
This guy wears a suit to work, so I trust everything he says straight up. Yeah, you're probably better off watching this dude's video. It's probably better than mine anyway, but yeah, subscribe to the channel if you think Mizkif should quit the internet forever. And if you're in the USA, share that DoorDash thing I mentioned earlier to your friends and family. Thanks.
Oh, so he's, yeah, isn't it kind of funny? He makes this video pretending to care about this at all, so he can shove a, what is this? A DoorDash civil suit, a class action. Very smart stuff, WestJet. Hey, life is like a sandwich. Whichever way you flip it, the bread comes first. But anyway, what do you guys think about this? What the hell is that? A little bit of Diet Coke right there. If you're on Team Mizkif, let me know. If you're on Team Emiru, let me know. And if you're on Team Employed, then you're probably not even here, but let me know. And I'll see you guys all in the next video. Goodbye.